Good evening, friends. It's Tuesday night. The kids are at the pizza shop, so I'm home. And while I'm home, I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm going to do some meal prep. I had me a hot bath and did my face and cut my hair. And you're like, Grizzly, your hair is short. Yes, I know it's short. And to keep it short, I have to cut it often, probably about every 3 weeks, or it start looking like a mushroom up here. So anyway, I've done all my beauty care. So we are going to make, I just discovered this recipe, Scottish Rumbledethumps. And you're like, what is that? Lord have mercy. Well, evidently it's a Scottish and potato casserole. Now listen, I love me some cabbage and taters, but I've never made it in this form before, and I thought it's fall. We got our great cabbages. This is a great recipe to have for fall. So we're gonna make it for the first time together. So here we go. So listen, I didn't have my glasses on, so I did some cabbage through my food processor, and I had the blade on slice the first time, and then when I dumped the bowl, I flipped the blade to shred. Doesn't matter, it's all gonna get cooked down. So 1 head of cabbage. Now, I had almost a 4-pound head of cabbage. It was a big one. So the recipe just says 1 head of cabbage. So use your discretion as to what size head of cabbage you want to get. I don't know if I'm going to use all this cabbage in it. I'm just going to cook it down. I'm going to go ahead and cook it. And I'm going to see once it cooks down where we're at. Okay? So shred your cabbage or slice it. Chop it. You can even chop it with a knife. You don't have to use a food processor. You're going to cook it down and wilt it. Okay, so the recipe, and I was like, oh, wait, this is a lot of butter even for me. 1 stick of butter. I'm just going to follow the recipe. We're going to do this together. 1 stick of butter, and you're going to saute some onions. So 1 onion, half an onion, 2 onions, no onions, it's your preference, okay? So we're going to melt this butter, and I'm going to saute some onions, and then I'm going to wilt down my cabbage, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I'll be back, and we'll have a little talk about that. Miss Lola is sawing some logs in there. Anyway, look at this gorgeousness, friends. Oh my goodness, look at that beautiful green color on that cabbage. So what I decided to do, since it said 1 head of cabbage, the recipe calls for 4 cups of potatoes, which we'll get into that tomorrow. So I decided to do about 4 or 5 cups of cabbage, wilt it down. Now the rest I'm going to freeze. Yes, you can freeze cabbage. So I'm going to let this cool, and I salted and peppered this to taste. I'm going to let it cool. I'm going to put it in a Tupperware container and put it in the fridge, and then I'll work with it again tomorrow. But also what I want to tell you was, because all know I have diverticulitis, I really have to cook my cabbage down. Now, I didn't want it mushy, but I wanted it soft. So instead of adding more butter while I was cooking, I probably added a 1/4 of a cup of chicken stock, so I could cook this down a little bit longer. So the original recipe says cook it till it's wilted. So use your preference on how you like your cabbage, because this will get cooked again in a casserole. So there you have it. And I'll see you in the morning, and we'll work on this part 2. Good Wednesday morning, friends. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good night. So we're going to work on the second part of this Rumbledethumps Scottish potato and cabbage casserole. I guess it was called Rumbledethumps because of the sound it made where I was cooking. So I don't know if it was like cooked on an open fire and it made all kinds of sounds. But anyway, we're going on to the second part of this casserole. Now it requires mashed potatoes. So because I'm off to work in a little bit, I thought, let me get out my trusty steed here, my slow cooker, and let it cook the potatoes while we are at work, because that's one less step I'll have to do when I get home to put the casserole together. So if you're not heading off to work, or you are heading off to work, grab out your slow cooker and let it do the job for you. I often use my slow cooker for a multitude of things. I've even put in ground beef before we've left for work so it could cook while we're at work for tacos. It's just it's a step saver to do this. Or even if you're not heading off to work and you just want to put it in because you have other chores and you don't have to worry about the potatoes boiling over and etc. So inside of my slow cooker here, I have about 12 potatoes, because like us, all potatoes are different sizes and shapes. So you want about 4 cups of potatoes, peeled, washed, and cubed. And I have in here salt and pepper and just some water to almost covering the potatoes. I'm gonna put it back on my slow cooker on 5, let it cook on high because God willing, we'll be home about 1:30 today. And then we can finish this casserole off. And then we'll move on to the next steps. Hey friends, home from work. I'm glad I cooked some of these items because I stopped at my friend, next door to the pizza shop is my friend. He has his chiropractor shop and he has like a massage chair. And I woke up this morning like someone had beat the tar out of me. So I went down and sat in his chair for a half hour, that massage chair. And, I about pretty near went to sleep. But anyway, I'm home. We're gonna finish up this casserole now. So we've got our potatoes that I cooked in the slow cooker. I just drained those. I put those in a bowl and I'm taking the hand masher. I'm just gonna mash these. Salt and pepper is all you need to add to this. They're just hand, listen, if you know anybody that doesn't have a hand masher, make a great Christmas gift, great stocking gift. So we're just gonna mash those potatoes. Now next comes the cabbage. Now you know last night I pre-cooked this cabbage. So I'm just gonna add, I warmed it up in the microwave. I'm gonna just add it right in with the potatoes. Sorry, I'm kind of flustered. Brock's been going in and out of the door. The dogs have been going in and out of the door. So it kind of has my train of thought gone here. Okay, so that was that cooked cabbage from last night. We're adding it with the potatoes. And also it requires 1 cup of cheese, but we're only gonna add half of a cup to this because the rest will go on the top later. Now, my cheese mixture, the recipe calls for sharp cheddar or cheddar, anything that you want, but I'm going to go with, I did a half a cup of Swiss Gruyere. Wait, got this at Aldi, and a half a cup of just mild cheddar. Use whatever cheese you want. I don't think it'll matter. The original recipe said cheddar, but I wanted to add some Gruyere in there. So we're gonna mix the two together. This smells so good. Friends, first time making this, I think this is a perfect fall side dish. Now, ideally, I think you could, if you wanted to, add some smoked sausage to it. But the recipe, you know, it's the standard recipe is this. But imagine you could cut up some smoked sausage or even put some on top. I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with the original recipe. First time I make something, I like to stick with the original recipe, other than adding a little bit of a different kind of cheese. I'm going to give it a taste. Friends. Oh, friends, that's delicious. And I haven't even baked it yet. Way 9x13 pan. I hit it with a little bit of Baker's Joy or non-cooked sticking spray. You can put a little bit more butter in. We're gonna put that right in the baking dish. This is so good. This makes a huge amount. Oh my goodness. Hope everybody likes it, because we got a big old bowl. Okay, so I'm gonna spread that out. Now, you're gonna cover with foil, 400-degree oven for 30 minutes. Okay. Gonna get it evenly distributed. That's a big old hunk of potato casserole. Listen, I'm thinking this would be amazing for Easter or a carry-in because of that great cabbage in there. Anytime. Okay, I'm gonna cover my nonstick spray. Non-stick Reynolds wrap. I said non-stick spray. This is a non-stick size. I'm gonna flip it over. 30 minutes into the toaster oven. So I'm gonna, my toaster oven's over here. I'm gonna pop it in real quick. It's a nice thing about having the toaster oven. I don't have to heat up my regular oven. I want to show you what we're having with it. So we're having this Smithfield ham pieces. I love ham and I get so hungry for a ham. I don't want to have to wait for a holiday, but I don't want to bake a whole ham. So I love these. I will go ahead and I'm going to grill them. Ooh. And I love grilled ham. I love fried ham. Hillbilly in me. You don't have to be hillbilly, love fried ham. So anyway, I'm going to grill this ham, and then I'm going to grill both steaks. That way whatever's left, I'll have it for breakfast in the morning because I love ham for breakfast. Ham and a piece of toast. Ooh wee. So we're gonna go 30 minutes on the toaster oven, and then I will be back to show you how we're gonna finish it off. And I don't, oh, here's my clicker. I'm a little sidetracked today. I'll get it together. I'll focus. I'll be back. So we've had 30 minutes in the toaster oven, and now we're gonna take the rest, the other half a cup of cheese that we reserved, and we're going to pour that right over the top. Put that back in your oven, 5 or 10 minutes until that cheese is melted. And while this is in the oven, getting golden brown and delicious, I'm gonna go out and grill the ham steaks. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna recap the recipe while everything is in the oven and I'm grilling the ham steaks. So you'll need 4 cups of potatoes boiled, and you're gonna mash those by hand. Then you're gonna need 4 or 5 cups, small head of shredded cabbage, 1 stick of butter, you're gonna add some onion. That's your choice, how much onion you wanna add. Saute, melt that butter, saute your onions, wilt your cabbage to your preference. Then you're gonna join the two together, the potatoes that you mashed and your cabbage. Salt, pepper to taste, and you're gonna mix in a half a cup of cheese of your choice. 400-degree oven, 9 by 13 casserole dish. After 30 minutes, you're gonna pull it out and add on a half a cup more of cheese. Put it back in the oven and bake it until the color of your choice. If you like just the cheese melted, or if you want a little bit browner, that's your choice. And there is the simplest, easiest recipe. It's almost done. I'm super excited to try it, and I'll be back. Well, friends, lunch is ready. I just made a simple, we call it mayonnaise salad here. It's simple. Simply just lettuce, salt, pepper, mayonnaise, and a little bit of sugar to taste. I have this recipe on my other videos, and I thought it'd be a great pairing with what we're having. And then I just went out and grilled those ham steaks really quickly. They were fully cooked, so I just wanted to get a good char on them. I think ham or smoked sausage would be perfect with this Scottish Rumbledethumps casserole. It's potatoes and cabbage casserole with cheese. Now here, I'm gonna try it, the star of our show. Thought I had a fork, don't see it. I'm gonna grab me one. Go, put a little bit on my plate. Look at that, friends. Grab a fork. First time making this. We did it together. Hot. And it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely delicious. I hope you give this a try. Bye, friends. Thanks for hanging out.